Hey guys, YouTube100 here. Alright, now here I am with my next Christmas review. And as I told you guys in my last Christmas review when I reviewed Doug's Christmas Story, I told you that in my next review I would be reviewing the other Doug Christmas special. And so this is going to be a review for that. So, yeah, for this review, this is going to be a review for Doug's Secret Christmas. Yeah. So, so the last one I talked about, Doug's Christmas Story. That one was like when Doug was like during the Nickelodeon Doug series. Yeah, and this one was during the Disney Doug series. So both the Nickelodeon and the Disney series of Doug had their own Christmas specials. So if you saw my review for the last one, Doug's Christmas Story, I talked about how I wouldn't really recommend that one because just for me it was just like too mean spirited and just too depressing to see like all the stuff that Poor Chop is going through in that one. So I really was just like not a big fan of that Doug Christmas special. This one, on the other hand, is pretty different. And because unlike the other one, this special does like have more of like more about Christmas in it because yeah, this one actually does like acknowledge like Christmas is like during this time and yeah, and we see that like just how it is like during Christmas and Doug is like actually like looking forward towards Christmas and everything. Yeah, so this one is more like Christmas oriented than the other one is. Yeah, and personally, I actually do like this one more than the other one. Yeah. So I do know that the Doug like the Disney Doug series really is not very popular amongst Doug fans because yeah, they just really didn't like how the Disney series turned out because yeah, they felt that it just like really was like just so different from the Nickelodeon series that it just like really became like just crap and a lot of people really do hate on the Disney Doug series. And I guess I can understand like why people really weren't too crazy for the Disney Doug series compared to the Nickelodeon series. But even as a kid, like I actually really didn't mind the Disney Doug series. Like I actually did like it still. I did kind of like how it did like change some stuff around, make you like just see that like how different in tone, well different in how, like the difference between the two series. So I actually really didn't mind the Disney Doug series. Yeah, and I actually, like I said, I do actually prefer this Christmas special over the Nickelodeon one. Yeah, so like I said, like the story for this one, like Christmas is more like yeah, this is more like Christmas oriented than the other one is. And the story for this one is that it is like Christmas time in Bluffington, and Doug is really excited for Christmas to come along, but his family just really seems too busy to be celebrating Christmas or like do anything for Christmas because yeah, if you've seen the Nickelodeon Doug series, like in the very first episode of the Disney series, it was shown how Doug's mom was pregnant. And so and this was still like relatively early on in the Disney series. Like this episode was still in the first season of the Disney series. Yeah, and in this episode, like it shows like how like Doug's family is preparing for like his mom to have the baby. Yeah, and due to like all the attention and stuff that like they're getting like to prepare for the baby, Doug's family really is not really really able to really like pay that much attention to Christmas. And it shows how like through the episode like how Doug is like kind of unhappy with his family really not like doing their like Christmas traditions because Doug does a talk about in like at the beginning of the episode how like usually like the week before Christmas how the family always has traditions with like decorating the house for Christmas, putting up the Christmas tree, yeah, going to Doug's grandma's for Christmas Eve and all this stuff. And it just shows how like because like the family is just so busy with the baby with like Doug's parents and his sister Judy, uh yeah, they are just like not really paying attention to Christmas time and they're not doing their typical traditions and you just see like how upset Doug really is about it and Doug just really does still want to have a traditional Christmas. So yeah, when he just sees like how differently like his family is handling Christmas, Doug eventually just decides that because his family is not in the Christmas mood, that Doug and Porkchop will have like their own Christmas together. Yeah, yeah. So Oh, yeah, and that really is like the climax of this episode. How just Doug is really just wanting to have Christmas, and because his family's not in the Christmas spirit, he just like has his own personal Christmas with pork chop at the end. And then at the end, we do see how we do there is like another like twist towards the end of this episode. So yeah, so overall, like while I can't say this is really like a great Christmas special, I still do actually prefer it over the Nickelodeon one because yeah, like I said, it's much more Christmas oriented than the original than the Nickelodeon one was, and yeah, and it's nowhere as depressing as the Nickelodeon one was. I mean, yeah, there may be like it may like be like kind of like uh, just like yeah, it may like kind of like get you like upset when you do see just like how the family's not really paying attention to Christmas, and you see just how different it really is for Doug. But yeah, it doesn't get like so depressing where it just kind of does make you sad watching it. Yeah, yeah. Plus, there are some funny moments in here. Like I do like how when the episode starts, it's kind of like satirizes the Grinch as you see like Roger like as the Grinch, like coming in to like steal Christmas, but you see that it's like everything's already gone, and then you see how Doug actually like already beat Roger to it. So I did find it kind of funny how they were satirizing the Grinch in the beginning. Yeah, yeah, and just throughout this episode, you do kind of like just the like you see like how different Christmas is for the funnies this year because yeah, you do see how like Doug's parents don't get like a usual Christmas tree; they just get like a small cactus kind of tree that Doug doesn't really like. Yeah, and you just like see like just how the family's paying more attention to just the mom and the baby than they are about Christmas itself. Yeah, and something else that's kind of like a funny like bit throughout this episode is Mr. Dake is setting up his Christmas decorations in his front yard, and he has like this electronic Santa that he puts out front. But instead of saying ho ho ho, the Santa just says a bunch of other stuff like yo 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 and yeah some other stuff other than ho ho ho. So it is kind of funny, and it does end up kind of like freaking some people out, which is kind of funny. Yeah, yeah, and then and like there's also like another funny bit throughout this episode where it shows how one of Doug's classmates hates Fentruck, who's like from a foreign country, Estonia. He talks about like how Christmas is celebrated in his country, and yeah, basically like Christmas is like treated as a Halloween over in his country, how like they dress up in costumes and get candy and all this stuff, and it just gets funny because every time Ben Truck like talks about how Christmas is celebrated in his country, Roger always comes in and says, "That's not Christmas, that's Halloween." Yeah, and it just is funny, like because throughout the episode, every time Roger says it, he just gets like madder and madder. So it's kind of funny just to see Roger make such a big deal about it. Yeah, and even like towards the end of the episode when Roger just like says once again that it's Halloween, then Fentrook just says how like in Yakisonia, Halloween is just it's Easter. Yeah, and then just Roger just finally then just snapped at it, and then he was just like on the ground beating it, just like punching the ground. So yeah, it's like pretty funny. Yeah, and we also do see like how Doug does have like he like goes out to like help people for Christmas because at one point in the episode like Doug and Skeeter do go Christmas shopping, and uh, when Skeeter wants to get like his dad a waffle iron for Christmas, but he sees that he doesn't have enough money for it. Doug then he was also at the store trying to find like for Patty, so then Doug decided to just use his money to help Skeeter buy the waffle iron for his dad. Yeah, and then when like Doug just didn't like couldn't find anything for Patty, Doug then just decided to make something for Patty for Christmas. Yeah, and Doug did do a pretty good thing. Like Doug actually did make some earrings for Patty that were actual just like earrings. Yeah, and I did like how he actually went out of his way to make them. Like he actually like constructed them, and then he actually like put them in the oven and stuff. So yeah, so I did like how I really go out of his way to actually make something for Patty for Christmas. Yeah, Yeah, and then then like I said, like just because like the family really is not like doing their usual holiday traditions for Christmas. Yeah, yeah. Then like Doug finally just decided at one point when like they said that they wouldn't be going to his grandma's for on Christmas Eve. Then Doug then finally just said because nobody else wants to have Christmas that Doug and Porkchop would have their own secret Christmas in Doug's bedroom. So Doug bought like a little Christmas tree, and then on Christmas morning. Uh, Doug and Porkchop then like exchanged gifts. Porkchop gave Doug a new journal, and Doug gave Porkchop a world's greatest dog mug. Yeah, yeah. Then Doug then finally decided that like if his family does get in the Christmas spirit, like they want to celebrate Christmas, they'd have to come to his room to do it. And as Doug was just waiting for them, then Doug then finally just like went out to get them when he just like asking himself, doesn't anybody else in the house care about Christmas? Yeah. But then when Doug went out of his room to get his family, he just saw that his parents and Judy weren't home. Then Doug got a call from his dad saying they were at the hospital and something happened. And then then when Doug got to the hospital, it was then revealed that Doug's mom had the baby. Yeah. And it was pretty funny what they named the baby because early at one point in this episode, like when Doug was like making a list of gifts he wanted for Christmas, like when like his dad was like talking to him about how they're busy with the baby and there's not going to be a lot coming for Christmas. When they asked Doug what he was holding, Doug just said like it was a list of possible names for the baby. Yeah, and one of those names, like one of the things that Doug put on the list was dirt bike. Yeah, so yeah, Doug's parents named the new baby, who was a girl. They named her Cleopatra Dirt Bike Funny. So yeah, so it was kind of funny that they actually like called her dirt bike. And that really is like what they like did refer to her as through the show. They just called her dirt bike. They didn't call her Cleopatra. They always just referred to her as dirt bike. Yeah. Yeah. Then it showed how a couple of days after Christmas Day on the 27th, that's when like Doug and his family then celebrated Christmas. Yeah. Yeah. And it just showed how like their like neighbors and friends were there celebrating with them, and then Patty was there wearing the earrings Doug gave her, and she gave Doug a present, which was a scarf that she knitted herself. Yeah, yeah. Then when like Doug's mom then like saw that they need more diapers for Dirt Bike, Doug volunteered to go out and get them. So then Doug and Porkchop went out in the snow, and then yeah, it showed how Mr. Dink was just cleaning up the his Christmas decorations. He was like putting away the Santa, and then that's when like the Santa then finally did say ho ho ho. Yeah, and Mr. Dink was just like, now you get it, right? Yeah. And then the episode then just ended with like Doug just standing outside, just saying "Merry Christmas, everybody," and then it just like panned out to like an overhead view of Bluffington. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, and that's how this episode ended. So like I said, like it is more Christmas oriented than the Nickelodeon one. I mean, it is like more watchable than the Nickelodeon one was. Like I said, the Nickelodeon one just got like just too depressing when you like see everything that does like Porkchop does go through because of like his like like being like accused of attacking BB and all this stuff. So it just gets very depressing. This one like really is nowhere near as depressing. I mean, you do see like what the funny family is going through with the baby just not being able to like do their usual Christmas traditions. But yeah, it doesn't get nearly as depressing. So it really is just kind of like you do see like the situation that they're in. Yeah, but it is still a good story of like Doug still wanting to celebrate Christmas, but then they do see like the baby's born, and they do celebrate Christmas at the end. So yeah, so it is more Christmas oriented. So if you do want like a Doug special that a Doug Christmas special that is like more centered around Christmas or like more Christmas oriented, yeah, this is definitely the one you want to check out. Don't watch the Nickelodeon one, watch this one. So yeah, so like I said, like I really wouldn't like say this is like one of the best Christmas specials of all time, but yeah, still at least it is like I think like a more appropriate Christmas special for Doug. So yeah, so if you are looking for a Doug Christmas special, I definitely say watch this one over the Nickelodeon one. All right. So yeah, so I guess that's the best way I can put it. All right. So I guess this is all I really have to say about it. All right. So this is my review of Doug's Secret Christmas. So I hope you guys did enjoy this review, and stay tuned because tomorrow I am gonna go see Spider-Man: No Way Home, and tomorrow I'll make the video talking about the movie and giving my thoughts on it. So stay tuned for my video about Spider-Man: No Way Home coming tomorrow. All right. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this review. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.